Fight Hop Podcast.
What's good, Gio?
Yeah, what's good, man? So I gotta shout out my boy, and I gotta give you a little greeting. I know it's not morning, but Saban Khay Kardash, and thank you for coming on, my brother.
Shout
Shout out my boy Maga once again.
This guy. Okay, Nazim, just so you know who we're dealing with here. Gio, he was born in Georgia, grew up in London, and now he lives in China, has a Chinese wife, speaks Chinese, and teaches Chinese kids English and a little bit of Georgian.
I love it. I love it.
The guy's a real G, man.
That's gangster.
Real G. Yes.
That's gangster for real. I like it.
Yes, it is, man.
And
He's a unique individual.
Me and my bro from Azerbaijan as well, we work at the same place at the moment. So I just got to give him a shout out, man. And turned him on to you. And we saw your last fight as well together, man, with all the dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to shout out my boy.
You like that little bit of this Vika?
Say that again?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. You know how we get down, brother.
Yes.
You know how we get down. We beat the shit out of each other. And then we just dance it off a little bit and hug it out.
And that's actually close to the theme, because we do know how we get down, but unfortunately the rest of the world is just finding out now how we get down. So let's get down to it, and let's start with that. First thing I want to tell you is Naz is a busy man. He's about to enter the camp. I think he's got a fight coming up, which we may or may not preview today, but that's not the point. The point is his time is limited. He's very kind to join us. Thank you very much, brother. And I want to start from the beginning before we actually go deeper into everything else. Talk to us about your origin, when you came to Brooklyn first, how old were you, and how did you end up becoming an MMA fighter?
So my history with MMA is crazy, but just to start with where I was born, I'm a Russian-born Azerbaijani. I'm ethnically from Baku, and I moved to Brooklyn when I was 6. And I've trained my entire life. My father, that's actually part of what we're going to talk about. It's our culture for our fathers to put us into something tough, something like a combat sport, judo, sambo, karate, boxing, whatever it may be. And he put me in as a kid just to grow up with the discipline, just to be able to protect myself, my family, whatever in the future, whatever it may be, any God forbid, crazy scenarios in life, just to be able to stand up for myself. I developed that passion and I continued with it. But I started all the way in Russia when I was a kid, and then I continued in the States. I literally never quit the sport. I never stopped. I literally did it my entire life. It was parallel with school. I literally did it before I even started school and after I finished school.
So we probably should have done this but we got so excited. We don't normally get a caliber of fighters such as yourself in here on the show. This is a small show. We started this Georgian exclusively in 2020 for Georgian MMA fans, because that was the first wave of Georgian fighters in the UFC. But now we're trying to expand because all of Caucasus, it seems like it's taking over. And Naz is one of the up-and-coming contenders. I want to tell everybody who doesn't know, in the UFC, in the lightweight division, probably recently, in the last 10 years, the toughest division in the UFC, along with 45 and 35-pound divisions. And I want to remind everybody, Naz got the Fight of the Night bonus in Madison Square Garden in the year's final and the biggest event last year against the Russian Borshov. It was a tremendous fight. My heart almost stopped a few times. And if you haven't seen this fight, if you're new fans, old fans, whatever, for some reason you missed it, you guys got to check it out. I'm sure Gil will have a few questions, but tell me, but then I'll allow you to ask your questions after this, Gil. But I want you to tell me where did you start MMA? How did you continue? And what helped you? What was the final step that helped you to finally become the world-class killer that you have evolved to today?
Thank you, brother. Thank you. First of all, thank you. And it started with karate. My father put me in as a kid into karate. And then when we moved to the States, we moved to Brooklyn. And Brooklyn, as you know, is heavy with post-Soviet Union immigration.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of coaches from former Soviet Union, like in combat sambo / hand-to-hand combat. That was something I did, and I reached master in sports. And then people ask, how did you get master in sports if that's something they do overseas? They don't do master sports in the US. I go, well, that's because my coach was literally from Ukraine. I had a master in sports in judo, in taekwondo, and in combat sambo instructor from Ukraine. So I went on.
Did you train with Pavel? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Pavel.
I trained with him too.
Yeah, Dimitrichuk, yes.
For a little bit, yeah.
Yes, the bald guy.
Yeah.
Yes, bald jacket. Yes. This guy, this was my coach. Then I went on to judo. Guys, let me, I forgot to silence my phone. If I disappear for a second, I'm just silencing my phone. Am I back?
It's all good. We got you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then it was judo. I actually grappled with Georgians, where I made friends who are still my friends to this day. Alexei was my coach. I forgot his last name. I actually need to find his last name. But Alexei was my coach. Amazing guy, amazing coach. I was like a 0.500 fighter in judo. I was not a crazy judoka. I'm gonna be real with you. My biggest success was like in kickboxing and combat sambo and MMA. But that portion, that's something that they built fundamentals in me that I still use to this day. I'm still good with my sweeps. I'm still good with my throws, my uchimatas. I still have certain throws and sweeps that I do that I got from judo years ago when I was like a teenager. Then it was kickboxing, two-time national WK, two-time national kickboxing champion. And after kickboxing, I was trying to do MMA, but there was no like MMA gyms that were going to take you to the highest level in Brooklyn. So I started traveling to New Jersey. I started traveling to Long Island, where I met Merab, where I met Dvalishvili, where I met all the Georgians that I've met later. And like these guys are like, I grew so close with these guys. And I had my amateur career in New York, sort of. And then I went pro, and I went to Serra-Longo full time, where Merab was. And actually, the way I got in, I called Merab, and I'm like, "Hey, Merab, I want to join a team that's going to be as close as possible to my home, which was in Brooklyn at the time." And I'm like, I need something. Can you talk to Ray? Let him know that I want to come in and speak with him. He said, "Yeah, no problem." I told him, "You're a good guy, this and that. Go ahead." So actually, funny enough, I'm sure we're going to talk about Merab today, but that's actually the guy that opened the door for me for talking with Ray Longo, where I had my professional MMA career. So it was karate, hand-to-hand combat, and combat sambo, judo, kickboxing, amateur MMA, and then it was finally professional MMA. When I turned 24, I made my debut.
Wow, because I thought, Naz, that you were already at Serra-Longo when you met Merab. So initially, you knew Merab before you joined Serra-Longo team, right?
Yeah, man. I know him from 2014. 2015 was like the first time we were on the mats together. It was that's why seeing him win this title, God bless him.
I know. He worked so hard for everything he received, and he won the last weekend. It's crazy. One of the craziest stories. Inspiring, really, if anything else, if nothing else. But I have a bunch of questions, but it's a specific type of questions of a specific type of people. But Gio, I want you to ask. I know you have some questions prepared. Before we get to my questions, I want you to ask a couple questions of your own.
Yeah, I mean, initially, I've been watching your team, Law MMA since Merab, since Merab first got in there. So like, I know you like a long time ago, even before you got into the UFC, and other guys as well, that trained with you, like Dennis as well, and shout out Montavlo as well, right? And bunch of guys, man, and it's a great feeling when you see more of the brothers from that team make it to the biggest stage, man. So when you got in, man, we were really, really happy, man. And I remember when your fights come on, we're like messaging, yo, Naz is coming on. And I just want to ask you about like, what was that initial feeling like, man? Did it live up to what you thought it was gonna be when you finally got got the contract and you knew you were in the big show like UFC?
Well, first of all, thank you. I'm so delighted to hear that. It means a lot. It means more than I'll ever be able to explain to you. So
Love, brother.
I really appreciate that. Number one. Number two, man, it took me a good year to really like snap out of it. Like during my debut, my second fight, almost going into my third fight, it was all like cloud nine. It's actually good that I had like a little bit of a layoff since my last fight. It was MSG. It's been some time since I fought. It's actually worked for the better, because since I got into the UFC, everything was so fast, and I'm just like, that feeling that night, I can't explain it to you. I can't. It's like all of the butterflies, all of the most joyful, peaceful, happy, anxiety, scared because of the future. Now I'm in the UFC. It's not that you didn't climb a mountain. You're standing at the bottom of the biggest mountain that you have to climb right now. So like that night, I remember I was with my friends, and I came to the hotel room. I did the interview with the UFC, with Contender Series. I shook Dana White's hand. I told him I'm going to be champion, this and that. I sit down and we're watching my highlights, right? It's me, Matt Frivola, a bunch of friends that came from Brooklyn, from Miami, from different places. And we're sitting there watching these fights, the what's it called, the replay. And I'm watching, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I'm in the UFC. And I repeat it. I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the UFC. And then I start screaming, holy shit, UFC. And all my friends start clapping, and shit. It was just like a crazy moment. And then everybody left, and I was just standing on the balcony, just looking at Las Vegas. And I was just like thinking to myself, like, wow.
Yeah.
Like it really is possible, because I overcame a really hard road.
Yeah.
I didn't have a crazy life, but I overcame a hard road.
Yes.
Any hardship that this game can throw at you, I went through it, and I went through it double. That's how I feel. That's how I see comparing to others. But I'm not judging others. I have my own path. But any hardship that I could have had, listen, 2.5 hours just to go to training at times, New Jersey. So when my car broke down, I had to take the Q train. It was an hour and a half to the city. Then it was an hour to Times Square. Got on that bus from Times Square, and it was like another hour and 15 minutes to the bus stop. Yeah, and to Fairfield, New Jersey. And then I get off on the side of the highway, and I walk like 30 minutes to the gym. So this was my travel to get to training. And then all the injuries, all the other stuff that came with it, all the financial burdens and all that stuff. I went through everything this game has to offer. So for me to finally like sit on that balcony that night and know that I just got signed, know that everything I ever went through is now behind me, and now I have this contract, and I have to look ahead to other and bigger goals. I don't know how to describe it, bro. I still think that's one of the greatest nights of my life.
I knew that, man. That's why I asked that question, because that has to be an amazing feeling. And even now, when you're talking about it, we can share that, feel the energy, you know.
Well, I mean, when you, especially in Brooklyn, when you talk about the kid from the Caucasus immigrated to Brooklyn, and we talk about that stuff, I mean, I related more than anything else, because I relate to it really. I mean, I feel like you're talking about myself, actually. I mean, I never became a UFC fighter. I never even became a pro fighter, but I went through certain hardships in life too. Like maybe I wasn't always on my way to the gym, but I was on the way to something else that I was trying to get to in life. So I actually relate to that, and it kind of pinched the nerve in my heart as well. It really did. Because I did have that kind of relationship to Jersey, where I had to travel like 3 hours going to South Jersey for work. There was time, and it was hell, man. It was in snow, in freaking bad weather. I mean, going back and forth. It was so. I feel you, brother. I feel you. But what I wanted to ask you is, you were not born in Azerbaijan. You weren't raised in Azerbaijan, but how much does your blood mean to you? Because you fight with the name of Azerbaijan, and that's very important to us, all of us, because our lineage, our blood, our genetics is. Even though I've spent most of my life abroad. Gio, same thing. You, same thing. But yet we don't lose that connection to our land. So talk to me about that before we go move on to the next chapter. Talk to me about it. What does that mean to you to be from there?
The answer is actually going to be shorter than you think, because I could be born on Mars. I can have a passport of France, Germany, Africa, Japan, South Africa, where I don't want to make that mistake, because people go, look at this idiot. No, he doesn't know that Africa is a continent. Canada, Mexico, it doesn't matter where my passport is from. It doesn't matter what language I speak fluently, not fluently. I don't speak my native tongue fluently. Regardless, my family, I have family in the past, ancestors that died and bled for this land, that can never leave me. That's in my DNA. So I can have any passport. I can love America. I can love wherever else. That's true. I do love these places. I love where I live. I represent America as well. But Azerbaijan, and me being Azerbaijani, will never leave me. My identity can never leave me, and I don't want it to. I take big pride. My family has bloody history, and I'm going to hold on to that until the day I die.
And shout out to all the boys who have to leave their land to become like high-level professional fighters elsewhere. You, Merab, Topuria, everybody else. I don't know, like, I know the Dagestan guys, they have a good structure for the sport. They don't really have to leave the Dagestan, but the rest of the Caucasus for now is struggling with that. We don't really have good structures in our countries where we can grow talent domestically, right? But yet, again, with all this mess going on, and guys have to leave their countries at 15, 16, 17, whatever, we're still raising champions. Somehow we're breeding champions from Caucasus. You are one of them. Hopefully, I really mean it sincerely. I really want to see you with the belt, because we're of course,
we're give both everything.
No, I'm sure you will. And let's talk about that. Merab recently won the belt. Ilya is another champion. We have champion from Dagestan. We have so many potential champions from Dagestan. You are a potential champion, a potential contender pretty soon. We have so many guys coming from this small region of Caucasus. What do you think? Talk to me about, I mean, I've talked to people about this, but I want you as a professional fighter, as a top level fighter, tell people your version of the truth. What do you think makes us so tough?
Character. Character and genetics. And by genetics, I don't mean long arms and legs and all these gifts. I'm talking about, we all think, the average Caucasus man thinks the way that I think.
Yeah,
you can put us on Mars. You can put us on Pluto, George. Like this, I'm actually so happy for Georgians. By the way, I'm sure we're gonna.
I appreciate it.
I
know you are.
So happy for Georgians. I as Azerbaijani, seeing not only MMA but just football and the guys standing outside on the street.
Yeah,
I love it. But that hot blood that's in us, we can go against Godzilla. We can go against 100 Godzillas, and we're gonna fight.
Yeah,
That's it.
One thing,
because of this character, we show up to training every day ready. Yeah. We show up to fights ready to give everything. It's the character. It's the genetic mindset. We have a warrior code. We've been at, all of our countries have been at war throughout history for thousands of years.
Yeah. And since we're talking about war, one thing that I've always been bothered by this. Not bothered, but I always think about it. Always, I just won't leave my head. Imagine if we were able to put away all of our differences, right, one day, and just unite one day. Imagine a freak of nature that would be, in the middle of the Caucasus. What could we do if we all stood together? I mean, it would be amazing. If we all just could support and help each other, it would be mind-blowing what we could achieve in a combat world. With that,
bro, without getting into too much detail, because it's like a whole conversation. I know. Without getting into too much detail, there was times in history where this was proposed, brought up, and people whose best interest is for that to not happen would not let that happen. And it's like it's true. It would be an absolute powerhouse. I don't think the Caucasus would need anybody in the world. We would not need anybody in the world if we can unite. Will we? I don't know. It's far-fetched right now, but
No, right.
one day, do I wish? Do I hope? Yes. I actually read a book on one of the proposals of this in history. It's called Transcaucasia. I think it was before the establishment of the Soviet Union or something like that. But I read this book, and it was describing in detail how it was this close to coming to be, and
Yeah.
it would have been just.
You gotta send me that book because
I will.
read
I
all of
think I
that
have
stuff.
it, brother. If I have it at home when I'm in Brooklyn, I'll hand it over.
Just give it. I'll read it fast. I'll return it back to you. But I want to read that stuff because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of history books for United Caucasus that you can read. There's not a lot of everything is probably destroyed, most of it, because we've been there forever all along, and there's no books left. But yeah, if you have something like that, I would love to read it, man. I'm sure
For
it's
sure,
a great read.
I got you.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever get to go back to Azerbaijan, it's gonna be like, obviously, like when you're going home, it's even though you haven't lived there, the feeling is special, right? It's a really special feeling. Plus, Georgia and Azerbaijan are like closest neighbors, man. And I got even family, you know, Azeri family as well, man. And what we were talking about right now is leading into like politics. Obviously, we're not gonna get into that much, but tell me about like what's coming up for you. I mean, maybe a date, or you don't have to say like the opponent, because since you came in, man, you came with the bang, bro. All your fights have been must watches, all of them. And I feel like it's been quite a time out now that you had, right?
Yes, it's been some time.
And when are you planning to come back in?
So I actually I had a bunch of pullouts. I've accepted 6 opponents, which pulled out or didn't accept after 3 days, 4 days after me accepting, from May until July. Now I also it's not important for me to say, but I also have gotten offers like short notice offers for France, Salt Lake City, which is coming up October 5th. Just quick offers, just like a quick, like, hey, Nazim, would you want to take this fight? I simply couldn't take those fights because I was too heavy and it was too short of a time frame for me to cut weight. But regardless of all of that, I've been in the gym. I've been going back and forth with New York and Vegas, leveling up, actually trying to really hone my skills so I can show my skill set, not just a bang, but my skill set. And we're probably a good 8 to 10 weeks away from my next fight. I'm thinking I'm back end of November, or beginning of December or middle December. There's going to be 3 cards from the end of November until December 14th. I'm hoping to get on one of those cards. I'm most likely going to get on one of those cards. And guys, just buckle up because I'm coming with the heat. This is not a comeback. This is a title.
Nice.
No doubt.
We're always there.
We're gonna be frozen in front of the TV with the beer on and cheering for you, brother. By the way, before I forget, I want to shout out to your dad and your mom as well, all your whole family who raised you here in Brooklyn, because it's not easy to instill that Caucasian ideology in the kid when you're raising him in America. It's not easy. I'm trying here, man. It's so freaking hard. You have no idea. My kid was born here. I'm trying to raise him as Georgian, as a Caucasian man. It is so hard. So hard. I had to send him away for 2 months to Georgia this summer. He came back, boom, they switched the flip right away. So it's so hard, man. So shout out to your family for that, brother.
I appreciate that so much. I do give all of the praise to them for this. This is 100% true.
Definitely. Because because you grew up here. I wouldn't expect from a kid who grew up in Brooklyn from a young age to be the way you are. But when I see how you are, and I met you, you're just this exact guy, one-on-one. You praise your blood, you praise your origins, you praise your roots, and I loved it. Nothing wrong with loving an America, being an American, but the tree measures from the roots, and a tree without roots is just a piece of wood. So shout out to your family for that.
Thank you, bro. That's a great quote. Actually, I'm going to use that.
Amen.
Yeah, definitely, no problem.
Yo, Nas, so
Listen,
when
Nas,
you're
I
looking
know.
at your next fight, do you usually think like it doesn't matter who the opponent is, or do you have an idea or a range of what, like, do you want to get as fast as possible into the top 15, or do you have like what kind of plan do you see for yourself moving forward towards the title?
Listen, you should come in there. My next fight, show what's up, and call for top 15. Whether I get it or I get something close to it, my fight will speak for itself. That's all I can say. I asked for Michael Johnson tweeted nobody wants to fight in Tampa with a question mark, and it took me some time because I wasn't sure when I was going to return. But I tweeted him like a week after he left that tweet, or like 5 days after, and I said I'm in. And then I had like an exchange with Sean Shelby, and he said he's booked. So I don't. So because he's booked, I'm probably not gonna get the Michael Johnson fight. But anyways, it really doesn't matter, man. I'm just whatever's gonna get me closer to top 15.
It's such a good fight for you.
Yeah, man. I watched him in Boston. I watched him fight in Boston in 2013. That was my first ever UFC event. I came like this. I was watching everybody.
I remember that one.
Yeah, Conor McGregor was fighting.
Conor was the main event, or something like that.
He wasn't the main, but he was like the main event because he was blowing up. Who was the main event?
He was fighting Max, right? He was fighting Max, I think.
Yes, it was Chael Sonnen and Shogun. It was Chael Sonnen and Shogun. That was the main event. And I came in there, I watched him, I saw him. So like, he's calling somebody out. I'm like, that's the dream fight for me. I would love that fight. I would love that. Be a great fight. But anyways, he's matched, I think. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna have some news for you guys soon.
I appreciate it, brother. And listen, Gil, if you have like a final question for Naz, we can ask. But because I don't want to take away too much of his time, he's been kind with his time already.
For real, like I would just like, for all the Georgians listening right now, what were you thinking when everybody was saying, "Oh, Sean O'Malley's gonna knock Merab out. He's gonna flying knee him in the face. He's gonna snipe him. He's gonna finish him in round one." Like, as a pro, what were you thinking? Obviously, Merab is your brother as well, but as a pro, what was your thoughts like?
Listen, I had a picnic the night that Merab won. I had a picnic. So there was a lot of people that were like, "Hey, Merab's your boy, but O'Malley's gonna knock him out. O'Malley's gonna knock him out, right?" I'm like, bro, just wait, just wait. Merab comes and does exactly what I thought he was gonna do. And he made O'Malley look. People were like, O'Malley was flat. O'Malley wasn't flat. Merab made him look flat. Merab shut him down with his movement, with his footwork, with his stand up and his takedowns and his grappling and his ground and pound. Merab has never.
Although I keep telling all the Georgians about this because everybody's like trying to shit on Sean right now. I'm like, dude, guys, you got to stop this. Merab beat an excellent fighter. He's a supreme talent. He's a talented fighter. You got to stop treating this guy like he's a bum. Everybody's like, oh, of course, like this and that. They're shitting on him as a fighter. Like, he's a good fighter. And the fact that our boy beat such a good fighter, it speaks miles for his performance. He fought a smart fight. So stop downgrading O'Malley and just celebrate the win.
I'm not gonna lie. I was nervous that O'Malley can snipe Merab.
Yeah.
Pull back and throw that right cross. However, Merab showed real IQ, fight IQ. That's the thing that improved like a lot as well with him. He used to not have tactics when he comes forward. He used to just attack pridefully, just come forward with strikes, with the barrage of strikes. Now he's such a tactician.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like Floyd Mayweather when he boxes, but god damn it, is he tactical and is he smart this time around, how smart he is. So he shut him down. But I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous that O'Malley can't find his shot. A knee, a right straight. I was just nervous that that's a possibility. But I was confident in Merab. The machine is the machine.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I was just gonna say, you said you're also going from New York to Vegas, right? So are you training at Syndicate as well with John Wood?
Yeah, John Wood. and Merab, him and I got a few rounds with his camp to O'Malley, Otari, Aleko, all the Sakardelos, man. Bro, the world just does full circle. Like I grew up with them, and now I just get into this career, and boom, now I'm back on the mats with Georgians.
Yeah, and John Woods got big fights coming up too, man, with the title shot, Pereira with the Roundtree, right? And then I heard that Zhang Wei Li is coming to train with you guys when she's in the States as well, right? So when you see her,
yeah, she comes to Senegal, but she does her own thing. She does her own thing. I don't really see her in the classes and stuff. But Merab and all of us, we're on the mats. We're on the classes.
That's awesome, bro. Big support to you guys, all of you guys, man, from us, man, from the entire. We're the first Georgian MMA podcast, man, and it's an honor to speak to you, brother. I'm a big fan, and I'll be watching you and supporting you, man, all throughout your career, brother.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be on. I did hear about you guys for a while from Tango and Long Island. I heard about you guys for a while. So I'm happy to finally make it here. And this is not the last time we're going to speak. So I'll see you guys very soon.
When you got to promise me here one thing. When you, even before you win the belt, when you become a contender, when you win the belt, when you do all of this, you got to come back to us. But shake on it. Let's shake on it. But I'll see you at the gym anyway, so I'll chase you down the street if I have to.
All right, let him go now because he may not come back.
Listen, I'm just kidding. Make sure you win the belt. I'll be on the sidelines just watching and enjoying.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, guys.
God bless.
Enjoy the weather out there. It's getting nasty in New York.
I'll see you soon. Don't worry.
All right, brother. One love.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you, bro.
Bye.